All right, so this is 270 Park Avenue, also known as the JP Morgan Chase official headquarters. And we're doing a little progress update. It is currently October 21st, 2024. This building replaced the old Union Carbide building. Demolition began in 2019 and finished in 2021. And shortly thereafter, this building started its descent up 1,388 feet and will consist of only 60 stories. So the fact that it's this tall and only has 60 floors tells you that each floor has high ceilings. And of course, this is Class A, sort of premium office space, and you could just tell by the width of those windows, they're really, really long. A lot longer than these, for example. So these definitely have high ceilings. And it is expected to finish sometime in 2025. It topped out in November 30th, or sometime in November of last year, 2023. It was pretty much bare bones a little bit, at least the top half was last year. So now they pretty much have all the windows set in place. Just some of that steel, that exposed steel facade on the outside still needs to get put in, and some stuff at the top. And of course the crane was put down. You still have the support structure on the north side of the tower still in place. And the lobby still has a lot of work to get done. So they definitely built up the top before they built up the lobby. And the lobby still doesn't have its steam, I guess you can call it copper or bronze, or just dark brown colored steel column facade. So it looks like the actual exposed steel columns are metal, like a silverish color, and then they outlay them with this bronze color, which I guess is still steel, and it might have some structural input factor, but I think it's mostly just decorative. The actual support structure is that darker colored one, the lighter colored one. If I could zoom in, you could see that they outlay it. But yeah, this thing really has its place in the sky. It's very menacing. I love this architectural style, even more so than One Vanderbilt. This dark colored, I really, really like it, especially from the renders. You can see the lobby, this very dark, sort of warm colors. You know, I don't think they're going to use any like white LED lights. It's definitely some amber colored lights, which I think is a nice change. You know, we're sick and tired of seeing these blue and white marble skyscrapers with white marble interiors and just this blue glass reflecting from the sky exterior. This one actually has some character to it and some design. I mean, it looks really, really nice. It's just sad that they had to demo, because the existing building here was pretty massive. I mean, it was, I think, the largest skyscraper to ever be demolished, other than, of course, the Twin Towers. But this is a purposeful demolition. So it was kind of sad to see that one go and get replaced. Why didn't they build? I mean, there's a lot of, like, right across the street, you have just this standard building, not too special. I can understand some of these older buildings have a place, but if you have some buildings that aren't too special, I'd rather see those go than existing skyscrapers. But then again, the one that was here prior was pretty bare bones. It almost kind of looked like this one right here. So I would imagine sometime in the future, maybe this one gets faces a similar fate, because this is all just this generic 70s architecture. The Seagram building is the only building that I really like, despite it having this simple architecture. I'll get a clip of it when I move closer to it. But all right, there's still a smaller crane up there. Not there's usually a crane to the right, but there's a smaller crane to the left there, so that's still there. But as I was saying, the Seagram building is really the only building from that sort of modern era in the late 60s, early 70s that I like. But other than that, a lot of these buildings kind of just look generic and uninteresting with no decorative qualities at all. But this right here really has its place. Again, out of all the skyscrapers that have been built right now, this one, in my opinion, is just the scale. You know, some buildings have a nice design, but they're not big. Some buildings are big, but are lousy design. Kind of like the Hudson Yards, which I will be visiting next. But a lot of the buildings, there are some buildings in the Hudson Yards complex that look really nice, but the two big ones are kind of pretty generic looking. So to see something like this, where not only is it massive, but it has all these decorative qualities and it looks nice, is really nice to see. So had the building replaced this building, that would have been nicer, because I mean, this building looks nice, but it doesn't have too many impressive features. Again, it's pretty simple. It does have some Greek columns at the top, but overall, I think had they put it where it is here and then kept this building and maybe just did a resurface or a facade change of this building, the building that was formerly here, the old Union Carbine building, I think it would have added to the skyscrapers in New York, or even the building next to it. I'm sorry, not next to it, the one over there. I don't know the name of that one. I know that has some historical importance as well. I believe that's might have been one of the first buildings of its design, although I could be mistaken. But if they demolished one of these older buildings, or these not as high buildings, that would have been a little better. But I guess it's better than nothing. So this is the famous Seagram building, one of my favorite buildings in New York City, in the United States, and the entire world for that matter. It really did that modern 60s, late 60s architecture right. Although it's very simple, it kept this very dark sort of tone to it. You can see all the windows are actually like ceiling, complete ceiling tile, not windows, I'm sorry, lights are all like ceiling covered, which is really interesting. And then of course you have ponds in the front, very open, minimal sort of front courtyard area. And then in the inside, all you do is you see these concrete columns. I believe they're concrete or marble. I think they're marble, outlaid marble columns for the elevators. But this building did this type of architectural style right. And another thing that makes this building special is it's set back pretty far back from the street, and so it doesn't even reveal itself until you creep up on it, and it just reveals itself as you're driving by or walking by. You can see these buildings are pushed out to the front, and even this building, this new one right here, again I forgot the name of it, but this one was renovated. Again, it used to look like a building like this, and then they just sort of outlaid it like that. But this one is sort of pushed back from the street, and so it's amazing. I definitely think if you guys are visiting New York and you're into architecture and skyscrapers, come visit this one for yourselves. But you know, it's funny because when you Google this building, it credits it as the first sort of modern steel and glass skyscraper that didn't have any stone or brick on the outside. But I'm pretty sure it's actually this building that I'm behind right now, which is 350 Park Ave. I believe it's 350 Park Ave. But I believe this one actually dates that one by a couple of years. So I don't know what that's about. And this one, yeah, this one doesn't have any stone or anything. So this one's steel and glass as well. But yeah, the Seagram building, a beautiful building. And to be honest, the new JP Morgan Chase headquarters building really resembles this. Sort of the same undertones, same colors. Really, really nice. So here's another view of that support on the right side that still has yet to get torn down. It's still being used, so they're still going to use it, get a bulk of the stuff before they transition to like interior elevators.